Hello everyone, DJ Aaron here. I said I would have a kind of a setup tour of pretty much the show in general. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here at the custom build computer. This is AMD A10 APU, 16 gigabytes of RAM. See, I have hard drive in the top bay, hard drive in the bottom bay, and if we go around back here, we have two other hard drives. One is doing the music, the other one is pretty much video storage. So yeah, I do quite a bit with this computer, and I will show you guys the guts and the insides if you haven't seen that already. Alright, so here are the insides of the computer. Oh boy, it's a bit dirty. Or should I say it is somewhat dirty. I need to clean it again. It sure gets dusty. There's the graphics card, and yes, it does have power to the board. 16 gigs of RAM, which means there's 4 RAM slots that are filled, so that's good. And then there's all the AMD guts, or should I say the ASUS guts, because this is an ASUS custom build. At this point in time right now, I only have one of the fans running. The other one is unplugged because it kept making noise. So it has been unplugged for a while. So everything has been running very good for the most part. And there's the cable for the other fan. It just plugs right into one of those fan headers in there. So it isn't that big of a deal if I have it unhooked. So I think you can see down there for one of the hard drives, the green drive, I think. I don't know, the blue or the green drive is on the top. I haven't figured that out yet, but anyways, there's the top fan. It does push some air, so it's not bad at all. So I'm going to seal her back up, and we'll get on with the rest of the video. Alright, so right here we have the Behringer soundboard, which does all of the sound for the show. This fader is used, and then we have the AT-LP120 hooked up to this board as well. So that's on this fader. My main mic is on this fader, and secondary mic would go on that fader, and then I can add 2 other things to that if I wanted to. So it's pretty endless with this board. I want to get a better mic, maybe an XLR mic, sometime very soon. Computer monitor that I use for the show, can't do without it. I know it's probably a weird kind of screen res for today's standards, but it still works, and I have no problems doing the stream on YouNow. And what do I use for casting on YouNow? Just basic OBS. Yes, I do just basic OBS Studios, and it works with YouNow. It actually literally works, because if you're like me that likes doing shows, I mean, OBS will work on any site, but I seem to think that it works pretty good on YouNow. And speaking of YouNow, I cast on YouNow every Friday at 7 o'clock. You can check out the show Either I will put up a show announcement, or just type in younow.com and then you can see who is live on the Explore tab and pretty much go from there. Shameless plug there, but here's my Microsoft keyboard. Is what I pretty much use with everything, like the titling of the show. I do a title for the show, and it seems to work pretty well for OBS. And the mouse, and right here is the ATL P120. And no, I'm not using the default cartridge with this. I kind of like to save the stylus for something better. So you guys might wonder, do I use this more for the show than just the listening turntable? The answer is yes. I do use it for the show because I can easily queue up audio. So there has been an issue with the Q lever. It sometimes does fast dampening. What I found out that I can do is, if I leave the Q lever up for a while, I can get it to drop down onto the record very slowly, and I will use a 45 just to demonstrate that. So I'm going to use just a kind of a oh boy, get that centered up. So I'm just going to use a pretty much a like unknown 45, which is very, very risque by this day and age. So since I've been having issues with the Q mechanism on this thing, let's see how fast it can drop, or how slow it can drop, because there are ways to fix this, and this is the only way that I found to fix it. And it dropped right off the record. So if I leave this up for a while, it will drop slower, but like I said, it's not perfect, and it was never meant to be perfect to begin with, because Audio-Technica, their stuff after a while does get a little bit, should I say, a little bit like out of whack. So you kind of have to exercise the Q lever a little bit, but nevertheless it does work. You just have to leave it in the up position for a while, just so the oil can get worked around there. So it's something to always look into. Panning around, we have this old Sony receiver, and yes, I do use this on a regular basis, and this is pretty much acquired from my uncle, and he wanted me to have a vintage stereo system, so I was like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll take it and all that stuff. And yes, I do got some cassette tapes, and I'm gonna probably make a video on these, because apart from the thrift store finds, I figured I could do a video for you guys on this stuff eventually. So here's the tape deck, and yes, I will be doing a video on this as well. So just to let you guys know that this tape deck does work. It does take a little bit of effort to get the head realigned again, because this thing does like to go out of alignment very fast, and the tapes won't sound as good. So And no, I'm not going to demonstrate it with audio because I don't want to get slammed with copyright. But I'm just going to show you guys that it does work. And it's not hooked up to the studio or anything, but it does work. I'm going to press play. And I will turn on this light. And I'll show you guys that it does work. And it does play tapes when this recording level hits here. So we're at should I say a soft part in this George Michael tune. Okay, there it is. The level's starting to come up a little bit. And this is the start of the song called Faith, so you guys can tell that it does have a level and it does work pretty. There it goes. Alright, so that works. So we can take the tape out. Actually, I'm going to rewind it first before I put it back in. This thing rewinds pretty fast. And it has a stop soft. So, soft stop, actually. And this is George Michael tape. Which I will be doing a video on all these tapes here very soon. Okay, so turn that off. Alright, so moving on. The CD changer I've always had, you know, since the setup. Not a lot has changed. Well, it's hooked up to the stereo receiver now, but not a lot has changed. But anyways, there's the magazine, but I don't think there are any CDs in it, so we don't have to worry about any compact discs. But yeah, this still works, and yeah, it doesn't even skip a beat. Moving on is this Sony PSLX 340. It is a belt drive turntable, and it has the holes for the photo diodes, and if there's light that shines through the holes, so I'm going to do this for the fun of it. You see how the turntable stops and the tone arm doesn't go over? That's because it senses that there is no record on the turntable. So if we take a record, like any ordinary record, I will line this up. Alright, so just put that down there. So if we line that up, this is a fully automatic turntable, by the way. Put it to speed 45 and it goes over, and then the tone arm drops, and then it plays. The same thing when it tone arm lifts. This is a P-mount system, so the cartridge actually screws right into the tone arm. I think this is a better choice overall, because a lot of turntables today, they won't allow you to change out the cartridge, or they'll let you change out the stylus but not the cartridge, which I think that is a pretty good benefit to this turntable. I might do more videos on this turntable in the near future, but for now, I think that's it for this video. So anyways, guys, peace out, practice and enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the next one.